Well, boys and girls, it was the end of an era. I did not expect to do it, but I made one final stop to the family video near me that when I got in there, it was all ravaged, the shelves were all down, everything was just barren, and it was a sad sight to be sure. But the nice thing was that all of the movies were $1. That's right. And everything had to go, because when they were initially closing, they were not that well priced, even though they were very well priced. It was like 2 for $3, which is perfectly good. But yeah, all of the movies were $1, so I was very thrilled to be experiencing that. And I will show you what all I picked up. First off, though, let me show you one quick thing from eBay, which is the Humanity Bureau, which you did see in a previous family video, but it was not sealed like this is, and it didn't have the slipcover, and it didn't have the DVD, and so I sold the other one, got this instead because it was super cheap off of eBay. This was one that I had seen in Cool Duder, aka Sean C. Phillips. I saw it in one of his Dollar Tree videos, and I kept being like, well, I'm trying to complete the Nicolas Cage movies into my collection, and I keep looking for it, and I'm not seeing it. And in fact, most of Blu-rays, most Dollar Trees that I go to, they mostly just have DVDs and not Blu-rays. So I had to just break down and grab this baby off of eBay. And yeah, it wasn't cheap or anything. It's an Echo Bridge release, It's, it's just one of those things. But at any rate, trying to get the plastic off of this thing. I just hated feeling incomplete, and I had to get my cage in, gotta satiate my rage, my cage rage. Okay, so that's the only eBay thing as of right now, but let me show you what all I got. We're gonna start with, let's start with the DVDs. I have them lined up as Blu-rays first, but fuck it, who cares? Who cares about rules and shit? Rules are, there ain't no rules. Alright, first up, a lot of these I've never seen or heard of. This is one that I saw the title, I saw the poster, and I was like, I gotta fucking have this. It's called Beast of the Bering Sea, and it has the best tagline ever. Damn sea vampires. And look at these things. I have no clue what those things are, but I assume that they're sea vampires because the tagline told me so. And, it's from Sony Pictures Home Entertainment, so it's not just some random company. But, how could I not go with this? That just is begging for me to have it. Same with this one, which I actually passed up in one of my previous ones because it was not competitively priced relative to my demand. But with $1, it's like you can't go wrong. And that was a movie called Cyborg X with Danny Trejo there. And part of why I passed it up was because I knew that there was a German Blu-ray of it, but it was more expensive than it was really worth, and it was like, even if I wanted to sell it, I would have a hard time with it. So when you're only like morbidly curious, it's good to just go for what's readily available. So yeah, Cyborg X. Danny Trejo is kind of like this generation's, exploitation action go-to guy, which is pretty cool. Now this one here is, I've not seen this one. This is a BBC version of Frankenstein, which that'll be interesting. Trying, not on Blu-ray for some reason, but yeah, trying to collect a lot of different adaptations of the Frankenstein story. And now this one here, now just keep in mind, some of these, they did not have the original cover art, because again, this is family video, so some of them were really crappily printed on awful printer paper, some of them just didn't come with the box at all, some of them were sun damaged, etc., etc., but I've been getting into custom cover making, not just collecting and printing and with my membership and stuff, but actually creating custom artwork. And this one is a work in progress. It's not, done, really. It doesn't look commercial yet, but it's better than not having artwork at all. and that is for the 2004 USA Network TV movie of Frankenstein, directed by Marcus Nispel and produced by Martin Scorsese, which is kind of a big deal, starring Parker Posey, and had not Adam Green, it was a different one, but anyway, yeah, this was the original promotional poster here. I made the spine right here. And then just for right now, this is also the more familiar DVD artwork, but see, I couldn't find like the credit information in a big enough, clean enough image, and I need to do the description and stuff. But for right now, that's not bad at all. It looks pretty sweet. And I also wanted to print it out just for testing purposes to make sure I lined up the spine correctly in Photoshop and stuff, and it turns out that I did. I was quite impressed with how this turned out. But yeah, there's the original factory disc there, but as far as custom covers go, this ain't too bad. And yeah, it'll do for right now until I can find more clean, high-resolution official artwork, but honestly, I think this looks really damn good for what it is. And then, so you remember we talked about Attack from Beneath, aka Atlantic Rim, the Asylum film, and how they got in trouble with that name. Same with Age of the Hobbits, which they changed to Lord of the Elves, and then they changed it to something else. I can't remember what the other one was. Well, how in the hell was this okay? Independence Day, spelled like that, independence, as in independent people, apostrophe, so it's a possessive day. It's like, it's like, how is that okay? Yeah, Atlantic Rim wasn't okay, but Independence Day was okay? I don't know. I don't know how that works. I assume it's, whoever decides to file a lawsuit, and I guess it's Warner Brothers was being a little testy, because 20th Century Fox was like, fuck it, we don't care. And, they're absorbed by Disney now, so it doesn't matter. But, yeah, so I don't know. But the title was so shameless, and it was an Asylum film, it's like, I gotta do that. And then this is one, totally stumbled upon it at random. It looks really badass. Called Kiba Kachi, I think is how you say it. But it's like, says half man, half werewolf, one deadly samurai. I can get down with that. Yeah, never heard of this, but, I mean, based on that, plot, it's like, yeah, I'm there. This one is interesting. It's called The Layover here, which, there are two reasons why I wanted to see this movie besides the two, obvious reasons. Well, there's the two obvious reasons in front here, and then the other reason was that this, romantic comedy or whatever, directed by William H. Macy. That's right. And I didn't even know that he directed anything, and he might have directed other stuff, but yeah, it's like you would never look at this and think a William H. Macy film. I don't even know what a William H. Macy film would be, but, we got some funkadelic, boobalicious ladies in there, so, I mean, nothing else, we got that, right? Next up, never heard of this film, but it looked pretty cool. It's an HBO film called Live from Baghdad, 2003, with Michael Keaton and Helena Bonham Carter, and apparently it's about the Gulf War in 1990, and the timing of this one is particularly important, which this one has some, marker writing on it, but whatever. The timing of this one is particularly important because it came out in 2003 when the Iraq War was starting, obviously by George W. Bush, and then the Gulf War was George H.W. Bush. But, yeah, so I'm sure that the timing was not coincidental there, but, if there's one place I wouldn't want to be, it's in an extremely violent, volatile war zone. As a journalist, I would not like that at all. Wouldn't be cut out for it. Next up, I love this from the title, but again, the price point was not competitive or not what I would have wanted until this last time that I went into the family video, and it's a movie called Pandemonium. Yeah, it's got a slasher killer there with a panda mask. How could I not pick that up? And, So yeah, Pandemonium. And then this is one, there is a UK Blu-ray of this, and I might track it down at some point in the future. This is just kind of to hold me over. But I love Darren Aronofsky. I have never seen Pi, which was his first film, and it has never been released on Blu-ray in the US, but there is a UK version of it on Blu-ray. But just for right now, this will do, to get me, started at least. But yeah, I've never seen Pi, but I've heard it's really good. And I guess it's about like a mathematical equation or something, which, leave it to Darren Aronofsky to make a great piece of cinema out of that. Last up for DVDs, got Super Size Me 2, Holy Chicken. And I do not have Super Size Me 1 yet. I loved Super Size Me, not Suicide. Super Size Me. I loved Super Size Me, the first one, but I have yet to watch the second one, and I need to get the first one now. I kept hoping it would come out on Blu-ray or something, but it never did. Which, a lot of documentaries, they don't really ever come out on Blu-ray unless it's like, Give Me Shelter or, some really iconic one that the Criterion Collection puts out or, something like that. Those are kind of rare, though. Most documentaries, they just kind of go to die on DVD. And now we get to the Blu-rays. So some of these are custom covers. I'll point out which ones they are. And I'll point out, there's one in particular that I actually designed myself, and I think it looks better than the normal cover. But I'll point them out as we go. And these were all $1 also. And first up is a movie called Bent with Sofia Vergara there. Big reason why I wanted to check this out was because everybody knows Sofia Vergara from Modern Family and from comedy roles and stuff. I've never seen her act in a drama of any kind, so I kind of wanted to see what she was made of. And obviously I love her, obviously, one of the most beautiful women in the world, and also extremely, extremely funny, but I have not really seen her dramatic acting chops, so I'm hoping that she's got some good ones. And then this is a custom cover here, Black Swan there. It did not, this was just Blu-ray only, it didn't come with the case, but, and this one actually didn't have the barcode initially, so I had to find a different picture and cut the barcode there, just in case I wanted to sell it. That way it's easy to do. But yeah, Black Swan, another Darren Aronofsky film. And I remember seeing this in the theater, and the body horror parts make you squirm in your seat, and I love that Darren Aronofsky can make you do that. Natalie Portman, of course, deserved her Best Actress Oscar. Where was Mila Kunis's Supporting Actress nomination? It wasn't there. Why wasn't it there? And my only complaint with this film was I felt like they kind of gave away the ending in the very beginning, but then again, it also, the whole thing is like playing out the Black Swan or the Swan Lake story in metaphorical form, so I guess technically if you know that story, it's not really giving anything away at all, but it's more so how it plays out. And of course, this is one of his most critically acclaimed films. It's not one of my personal favorites. I mean, I do like it quite a lot, obviously, but I liked some of his more unpopular ones, like Mother and Noah. Really love The Wrestler. That's way up there for me. Requiem for a Dream's actually coming in the mail pretty soon, the 4K of that. So I'm just getting my Aronofsky on big time. This is another custom cover here. A movie called The Change-Up with Jason Bateman and Ryan Reynolds. Now, I like this cover a lot more than the standard one. Never saw this movie, didn't really hear great things about it, but I love Jason Bateman. I love Olivia Wilde's in here and Leslie Mann and stuff, so, I'll give it a shot at least. But yeah, custom cover there looks pretty sweet. And now some of these, I don't know if it was like the printer at Office Depot or the kind of paper I was using. I'm gonna get like a thicker, glossier paper next time. I was just using up the paper I had. That was, decently glossy, but it wasn't, like photo paper, and it was still, relatively flexible and stuff like this kind of paper is. Now my reason I bring it up is because some of these look kind of blurrier than others, and I don't know if it's the image itself or if it was the printer that day, or I don't know what. So, or the paper quality, or there could be any number of variables. So, if I'm so inclined, and if I get really high caliber of paper that I like, I might reprint a few of these. But you can't really tell on camera, but I can tell. And if I'm so inclined, I might reprint some of these. I did that with some ones that I wasn't really satisfied with when I printed them on my own, and then I went back and I printed them later with different, better paper. Next up, this is, I think, Brian De Palma's most recent film, I think. This is 2019, so it's called Domino, with Guy Pearce there, and know nothing about it, and I think it does have a slipcover, but Brian De Palma is somebody that, he was one of the movie brats from the 70s, and, he had his own style, but, he had his fair share of lovers and detractors, and, he just hadn't really been all that prominent in movies lately, and I wonder if that's by choice or what. I don't know. Next up is a movie called Friend Request there, which I don't think I've heard great things about, but I do find horror in the digital age to be an interesting concept, so I'll at least give it a try, because I liked Unfriended a lot. Next up, another Jason Bateman comedy. This one's a kinda sorta custom cover here, and it's Game Night. I say kinda sorta because I just had the Blu-ray disc. I didn't have the DVD, didn't have the slipcover, so I got rid of the part that says that it comes with the DVD and the digital and all that. Now this back part that I managed to find doesn't have a barcode or anything, whatever. But so that one I kind of had to hodgepodge together, but you can't really tell, which is good. But yeah, this one looked really cool. I remembered seeing the trailer and I was like, this looks like a dark comedy thriller, almost like if Hitchcock were alive today and tried to make like a comedy but still did justice to his thriller roots, he would probably do something like that. That's just how the trailer came out. That's how the impression it gave off, and I think it got pretty good reviews, but I need to actually watch it for myself. This is one I'd never heard of, but I adore Philip Seymour Hoffman and I adore Christina Hendricks and John Turturro. It's a movie called God's Pocket, and I have no idea. I never heard of it, but those are some of my favorite serious dramatic actors, and Philip Seymour Hoffman, rest in peace. He was gone way too soon. Next up, another Nicolas Cage film. I think this has a slipcover, but I don't know. Something called Grand Isle with him and Kelsey Grammer. Anybody out there watch Frasier? I never watched it, but I heard great things about it, and I heard it was like one of the few TV shows with an actually smart protagonist, apparently. I don't know. And I think, my assessment of what constitutes a smart protagonist in, television, especially of that period, American television, my assessment of what constitutes a smart protagonist is perhaps not what it would be for most people. Next up, now I had this in a 2-pack. I sold that 2-pack just because I was trying to make space on the shelves. But I got it back, and the other one back singularly, and this is Killing Season there. Robert De Niro and John Travolta. I do believe that this has a slipcover that I will have to track down separately. I think it's kind of rare. Next up, now this is a custom cover. It was originally a DVD cover, but I kind of fooled with it a bit with the dimensions, and I replaced like the DVD logo with the Blu-ray logo and did a few other things. It's a movie called Legends of Oz, Dorothy's Return, which I heard's another Kelsey Grammer one. I heard it's kind of crappy, but I'm interested in Oz adaptations and, spin-offs and stuff. I really liked this cover here. Only thing, the back right here, which it's hard to tell on camera, in person the back here printed really blurry, and I don't know why, because digitally it didn't look like that. Again, it could have been the printer that it was printed on. It could be any number of things. Could be the paper. This is one that I will probably reprint whenever I get the chance. But you know, at any rate, it's Legends of Oz there. So, yeah. Next up, this is one that I'd had, this custom cover here, this is one that I had my eye on. I don't have the first movie in this collection, but I will get it eventually because I love it. It's a 2-pack of Let the Right One In and Let Me In. And part of why I wanted to get this is because Let the Right One In is the original, whatever it is, Swedish film, I think. Swedish, Norwegian, something like that. And then Let Me In is the American remake. And but if you were to do it alphabetically, Let Me In would go first, and then Let the Right One In, that would go second, but that's wrong, because one's the original and one's the remake. Well, there's the remake disc. Still need to get the original film, which is such a good one. It's one of the best relatively recent vampire films, and of course this was an early one for Chloe Grace Moretz, who's now a big superstar, as I knew she would be. Next up, a movie that I had wanted to see for a long time, just because it's not every day you see a movie like this in 3D. It's something called Nurse 3D, and I guess it's a horror film, but again, I don't know anything about it, and it's one of those Blu-ray and Blu-ray 3D on the one disc movies. But yeah, and I think there's a slipcover for it too, but I don't know. Next up, this is technically the second in the Rampage series. It's Rampage Capital Punishment. This is one also that I had to kind of get twice, so I had both the Blu-ray and the DVD. But yeah, this is the third in Uwe Boll's Rampage trilogy, which I've heard is actually that series. I've heard those are some of his best films. Which again, it's like when he gets his hands on just original, when he, eschews the video game adaptations, which again, video game adaptations now are probably admittedly different than they were then, because, like, business-wise, because according to Uwe Boll, the video game companies, they gave them the license and then didn't really provide any additional resources or assistance or whatever, which he could just be making excuses, I don't know. But if that is indeed true, then, in other words, not having a lot of hands-on guidance or help or anything, then it's no wonder why things would go off the rails. Nowadays, it seems like video games are like the next frontier for, Hollywood's, increasing desire to adapt things that the public's even remotely familiar with, because they're losing touch with the audience like crazy. But whenever Uwe Boll does original properties, original stories, it seems like, they can be fairly well received, at least. But the other two are, in the US anyway, are only on DVD. I do know of, like, an Italian release of the first one. There's, like, a German release of the third one. There's a German one that has all three of them in it. I don't know. I'll figure it out. They're a little hard to come by, so I'll just see what I can grab when I can grab it. And then, you remember Killing Season? Well, there's the other one, Red Lights. Now, the slipcover's a little beaten up, but at least it has it, because I know that this slip is kind of hard to find now, and it's a gatefold slip there. Cillian Murphy, Sigourney Weaver, Elizabeth Olsen, pretty, good star-studded cast there. Oh, and by the way, so this is the official artwork here. I just had to print it off because it came with the slip. It didn't come with the actual artwork. Now this is one I will definitely reprint. Like, it looks fine here, but here you can't even see any of the credits or anything, so I suspect either it was the printer ink or it was the paper or something, but this is one I'll definitely reprint eventually. I'm not in a huge rush. And then this is a movie that I really wanted to see it when I first heard about it, but I never did. It was the first film that Jon Stewart directed and wrote, and it's Rosewater, which I guess is based on a true story, and it's like a journalist that was captured and held hostage or whatever, which I think that's so cool that, that he went from The Daily Show to be a director of films, and it was like, that's so cool. And I guess he did another one with Steve Carell that was supposed to be really good, so who knows, he could be just a good emerging talent there. But I wanted to see this when I first heard about it, and I never did. But at any rate, it's something that I will watch readily, and I believe that there is a slip for this one. Have to track it down. Next up, this is one that I might print off a different cover for this one, but this was just to get me started, and it was for Savages there, which I wanted to see at the time, never did. Love Oliver Stone. Part of why I say that is because it seems like it's relatively low resolution. This is one I admittedly did find just for free. I didn't download it from Custom Maniacs or anything. So you kind of get what you pay for, what you don't pay for. But this was more so to get me started because I really like the original theatrical poster for Savages, and I figure if I'm getting around to like designing a lot of my own ones, I might just convert that into a custom cover and go with that, and then maybe put this on the inside or something. I don't know. But anyway, then here's another one I never heard of, but I love Clive Owen, and that's a movie called Shadow Dancer, which I guess is like a spy thriller or something set in England with the MI5 against the IRA. What was that? The Irish, either Republican Army or Red Army or whatever. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, it's got Clive Owen. It's got Gillian Anderson from the X-Files. Eager to check that out. Now, I have to give extra special attention to this next one because this is one that I designed all by myself, and I have to say I'm very proud of it. But I'll show you what it is. It's Slender Man there, which I didn't design the label there, but I really wanted to see this film when it came out. I heard it got horrible reviews. It's probably dog shit, but I really like creepypastas in general. I like the mythos behind the Slender Man. For all I know, it might have gotten bad press just because of the Slender Man stabbings and stuff. Which, I mean, Slender Man existed for years before that, and, you know, it's not right to malign a character or a mythos or a fandom for the actions of these bad apples and, you know, all that kind of stuff, separate rant. But I wanted to see it. I was glad that it got the big screen treatment at least, and it's got Joey King from The Act, and with hair. So anyway, that's the disc there, and that's why I got it. But part of why I did it was because A, I like the cover I did better, and B, I think the slipcover is kind of hard to come by. But anyway, this is the cover that I designed myself. The spine turned out really, really nice. There's the back there. It didn't cut quite so great, so I might reprint that one, but at any rate, so here's what I did. I found this artwork here. It was this long horizontal piece of artwork here from the film. This was the cover of the UK one also. Now, this particular one that I found, it did not have the Slender Man font there, but I put it there. I found a PNG. I found the Blu-ray logo. I put that PNG image. I stretched it out along the spine, which thank God that it lined up perfectly. Found the Sony Pictures and Home Entertainment logo there. This back part here, I already found that separately, and I just kind of smushed them together there. So I didn't do this from the ground up, but I was just lucky I was able to find it. But I think this cover here looks so much better than the normal one, and I'm like, they should have gone with this. This makes it look really cool and creepy. The other normal cover makes it look stupid, and I don't know, this intrigues me, and I'm very, very proud of it. And I'm gonna try to design more custom covers in the future, especially for ones that I think are not as good as they could be, like Savages. And then this is one, this cover I also found for free, and it's for the Nordic/Scandinavian release of this film, and that's the Snowman. And reason why is because it had the barcode there. It was region free. It's one of those things that if I wanted to sell it, I could still conceivably sell it that way. You know, I'm always just thinking about that. But anyway, so this was a movie that came out. I remembered seeing the trailers for it, and it looked really good. It's got a really high caliber cast. Michael Fassbender, Charlotte Gainsbourg, Val Kilmer, J.K. Simmons. It's like all the stars seem to align for this film, And then when it came out, it got horrendous reviews, and I'm really not sure why. I never saw it. The only thing I did see was I saw a scene. I don't know if he's in more, but I saw a scene with Val Kilmer. And keep in mind, this is while he was being treated for, tongue and esophageal cancer. And, obviously, heartbreaking thing. He has been still, I guess, getting treatment for it, and haven't heard any updates recently. It's very heartbreaking news, especially because, he can barely speak anymore, and, he has to, wear scarves, and, it sounds horrible. And he had such a really good speaking voice, because he voiced Moses in The Prince of Egypt, and he was so good. He had the best Batman speaking voice out of the original 4 films. And it's just such a shame that happened. And well, okay, so he didn't treat it anywhere near quick enough, and so that's part of why it was allowed to fester and do so much damage. And I highly, highly doubt that he'll ever be able to speak the way that he used to again. Who knows, maybe, but I highly doubt it. Point being, he was in this movie while he was getting treated for the cancer and all that. He still had a really swollen tongue, could barely get a word out, and even if he did, he couldn't understand it. So what they did was, I've seen that scene where they actually dubbed him, and the voice doesn't even remotely match the body, and it's pretty horrendous from what I've seen. I assume the rest of the movie is probably not much better, but at any rate, I wanted to get it just because A, it was $1, and B, I was like, I gotta see this train wreck for myself, if nothing else for some of the worst ADR I've ever heard in my life. And then, next up, I know that there's a slipcover for this one, The Sorcerer and the White Snake. This was a Magnet Films release with Jet Li. I remembered seeing this in Walmart in the 788 bin. Do want to watch it finally, and I do need to track down the slip. Next up, this is one I saw on Amazon Prime. I'm missing the DVD and I'm missing the slip. It was called The Steam Engines of Oz, again, another Oz adaptation, and based on a comic book, interestingly enough. And I have not read the comics. I've seen the covers for them, and they look pretty neat. They look kind of steampunkish, hence the name Steam Engines of Oz. I think the shittiest part of this movie is, well, it's a low-budget animated film. The quality of the animation's not very good. It's not as well realized as it could be. It's just overall the cheapness of it, and I did kind of find the punk / furry looking animals, furry as in the furry fandom, furry looking animals here, the anthropomorphized bipedal animals here, I found that to be a little weird, because in the books, the animals, the ones that could talk, they were just normal animals, but they just happened to be able to speak. Or even in the classic 1939 film, the lion is bipedal, obviously, but he doesn't wear clothes or anything, and he still is, lionish enough. But here they're wearing clothes, and they're punks, and it's it focuses on them a lot, and I'm getting weird furry overtones from this thing. But it has Ron Perlman, it has William Shatner as the wizard, it's got Julianne Hough. The thing I really love about this movie is how fucking creepy the Tin Man is. The Tin Woodsman, excuse me, because that's the full name, technically, from the book. But, yeah, he is so fucking creepy in this, and I like the reason why he's the bad guy. The Scarecrow is kind of creepy looking, too, in this. I do want to read the comics, though. They look like they would be better. But still, interesting Oz adaptations are definitely worth exploring. Last but certainly not least, got Tomorrowland with an awesome custom cover. I think that looks a million times better than the official one. This one also didn't have the barcode on it initially, so I put it on there just in case. But yeah, Tomorrowland. I have not seen it, and really wanted to, because it's Brad Bird, it's George Clooney. It's about one of the best, based on one of the best lands in all of Disneyland / world. in the Magic Kingdom. One of the best, probably my favorite of all the worlds, the lands in Magic Kingdom. And so it's really neat to see what a movie spin-off of this aspect of the theme park, what it could be like, because obviously that worked out for the Pirates of the Caribbean films. Did not work out so great for the Haunted Mansion, although I hear that they're trying to make like a more badass like still family friendly, but like a more serious badass version of the Haunted Mansion, which I really hope they do, because that's my favorite ride in all of Disney World. But yeah, Tomorrowland, it's got Space Mountain. It's just fun. It's a really cool futuristic land. I was there before they did all of the now. Isn't Star Wars Land, isn't that like its own thing? I don't know if it bled into Tomorrowland or not. I haven't been back to Disney World in forever, so I don't know. And that was before the Star Wars acquisition. That was before, Marvel everything. Consolidation. Anyway, so that was an unexpected fourth chapter in our RIP family video series. One that no one asked for, and yet everyone got. So if by chance you enjoyed that, then please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon, set phasers to stun, Warp Factor 5. I'm going to keep seeing what kinds of cool custom artwork I can either find or buy or make. Preferably make, because I'm wanting to exercise that part of myself. Might even turn that into a little side hustle, you never know. The biggest takeaway from this whole thing for me, I'm just really thankful that this turned out as well as it did. And it actually printed pretty well too. Now this back part's kind of blurry, but again, there's a lot of ones that I will probably reprint. But for my first go at DVD and especially Blu-ray custom covers, like creating and printing, not too shabby if I do say so myself. But anyway, guys, I will see you in the next video. There is some cool stuff coming and some good pre-orders and all that stuff, so stay tuned.